Hi folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Today we're going to talk about the Tripowin T... Hold on. Let's try that again. Hi folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Today we're going to talk about the Tripowin TC-01. I want to thank Linsoul for sending over the Tripowin TC-01 for a review. Do greatly appreciate it. Linsoul, you rock. Alright, so the Tripowin TC-01 comes in this pretty standard black box. Nothing spectacular about the unboxing. You're going to get a cable, some tips, and a carrying case, and then your IEMs, obviously. On the back side, you do get a little bit of information. You have a graph, and then also you have some specs. They're 16 ohms, 105 decibels of sensitivity. They have a frequency response of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and they're a 10 millimeter dynamic. Pretty standard fare. The carrying case that comes along with the Tripowin TC-01 is very nice and thin and small. On the inside here, when you undo the zipper, you have a little tray for your IEMs and then a little pocket up top, and you do get this little carrying strap with a hook, and there are your tips. Overall, I find that the presentation is decent for the price tag. It's not the best that you can get at 50 bucks, but it's not bad at all. The carrying case is actually really nice. The tips were okay. I did replace them with ear horn tips. I found that the ear horn tips extended farther into my ears and gave a better seal. The stock tips were just a little bit short and shallow, and I did not care for the seal of them. You may have a different experience. The tips aren't bad, they just didn't work for me, so I recommend the ear horn tips for the better fit and seal. The cable is has metal connectors. It is a 3.5. It's a very nice casing on here, and then it's a nice rubber, very good split with a little slider. They do connect with 2-pin. And get out your cleaning cloths, as they are very glossy. They have a little bit of Tripowin branding. Take off one of the tips here. Connectors, excuse me. So there's your 2-pin connector. The right one does have red on it. Sorry, got distracted trying to put the tip on, or the cable on. So here's your shell. It's a reminiscent of a Moondrop SSR or an SSP. It is a little bit chunkier than those, but it's not too heavy or big. It's pretty pleasant. Just has that short nozzle with a little bit larger of a bore. And so when you use a little bit narrower or smaller tip, they didn't fit in my ears properly, so I had to go with that ear horn tip. Let's get these connected back. Overall, I find that the build quality of the Tripowin is adequate for 50 bucks. Found this very comfortable. I have no real complaints about it. All right, so sound-wise, how do they sound? They have a little bit of a warmer tone to them, especially in the mids. They have big bass and somewhat of a brighter treble. So the mids are my favorite part of the Tripowin TC-01. I find that the Tripowin TC-01 is just very pleasing in the mids. They have a nice cohesive, balanced sound, and they play well both with males and female vocals. Instrument tonality is good. Timbre is all right. It's not the best of the best in this price point, but it's decent. You can follow along and dissect and determine characteristics of instruments and vocalists. The one thing that I do have a little bit of an issue with the mids on is a little bit on the, it just lacks refinement just a little bit. There's a little bit of graininess, just a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's mostly noticeable in the upper mids, can get a little harsh and a little bit sibilant on some recordings. Going into the treble, the lower treble has a little bit of harshness to it and a little bit of hotness on some tracks, but it's few and far between. And then as it extends out, has nice extension in air. It does just have a little bit of graininess in there. It's just not the most refined, but it's not bad. Detail retrieval is good in both the mids and in the treble. The bass, on the other hand, is way too elevated and way too accentuated. The bass is very thick. It's very prominent, especially in the mid-bass regions. And I find that it is just booming and thumpy and way too thick. It does bleed into the lower mids a little bit, which gives a nice body to it, but it is very noticeable. Sub-bass is there, but kind of lacks refinement and details. You get some rumble, but you really don't get a whole lot of definition. The resolution of the bass is not good at all. The clarity is not there. It's just way too much, and it's just not very well defined. Soundstage is nice. It's got a wideness to it, has good depth and layering to it. You have things whizzing around your head. It does a good job with imaging from left to right. Things travel well. You can locate things within the stage, whether it be right center, left center, and kind of piece things in rows. It does a good job with that. I actually do enjoy them for gaming, other than the bass is a little too boomy. The TC-01, how's it compared to the Blonde BL03? The Blonde BL03 has a very similar sound signature, but the Blonde BL03, in my opinion, is better defined and more refined, especially in the bass. The Blonde BL03 has more details and better resolution, even though down low on the Blonde BL03 does get a little confused, especially on busier tracks, but it's not boomy and thick like the TC-01. And then as far as going into the mids and treble, the mids are very similar on the Blonde BL03, but they have a little bit more refinement, a little bit more smoothness, less graininess. And in the treble, it's just a little bit more detail resolving. It still has a little bit of graininess in the BL3, but in my opinion, the TC-01 is the better pick. So if you're looking for an upgrade on the BL03, I would definitely not look at the TC-01. The BL03 is the better one. I would take the TC-01 over the BL01 and 05 though. I find that is just more pleasant sounding, in my opinion, to both of those. But is the TC-01 really something I would recommend? No, not really. I enjoy it. It's a fun IEM. I think a lot of people would like it for the boomy bass and the mids being forward. But to me, it's just not technically there. There's just so much better that you can get even at lower price points. For example, the Moondrop SSR, the Moondrop SSP, the Jade Audio EA1, Jade Audio EA3, the 10 Hi-Fi T2 Plus, and the K-Bear Lark all do better. In fact, you could even do the TFC Live 1 are better than the Tripowin TC-01. It's just a fun, mediocre IEM. It just has a lot of flaws, and it just doesn't do anything spectacular, but doesn't really do anything wrong if you like that big boomy bass. So there you go. The Tripowin TC-01. It's a no from me, but you might like it. It's been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on the screen is going to be some notification links and subscription bell. Also links to all kinds of information down below regarding how you can support the channel and how you can contact the channel and send in gear and all kinds of stuff where you can purchase the Tripowin TC-01. Check it all out. See you down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, and have yourself a great day.